Yay. So I love your story because a lot of my family is from Minnesota.
Oh, really?
And you're from
I
Minnesota.
am.
But I would just love to know like how you got into the real estate industry
Yeah.
and
Well, hold on.
what?
Kayla Vice.
Right.
We're hanging out.
All right.
Hello.
All right.
Hello.
We're having a good time.
Yes, we are.
You
For
do
a
have
Monday morning.
for a Monday morning. We just said before the episode started that we need to start doing these on another day. Maybe Friday afternoon we could do a happy hour headed home
Oh.
podcast.
That sounds
Next
like
time,
a terrible
episode
idea.
part 2. I
don't-
think it's going to be fun.
You know, when we first started doing these, Andrew and I, it was during, well, it was, we did a lot during COVID, but that was like the second year we were doing them. And we would just sit in our basement at this table and like drink on like
We
a
would
Friday
drink.
night. And
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It was smooth flowing conversations came
Oh,
from
yeah.
those.
We want to talk Minnesota. You get a couple drinks in me, and that accent really starts coming out.
see,
so.
that's really what I was looking for.
All right. Well, yeah, tell us. How did you get into the real estate industry?
Yeah, so I've always been really intrigued by it. I kind of come from the marketing world and had my son, and I was really just trying to figure out, what do I want to do next with my life? And after working for a magazine and handling their advertising and those communications, I was just kind of exploring other options to let me be home more. And one of them was actually interviewing to be a real estate agent's assistant up in Minnesota. And everything went really, really well. And she ended up going with somebody that had their license, which totally makes sense. But just kept following her and, the work that she was doing. And then actually ended up working for a home builders association for a little while up in Minnesota, helping run their artisan home tour, which is like parade of homes on steroids, like the luxury houses, really nice, super fun. And then when we moved here about 5 years ago, worked for the South Metro Denver Realtor Association as their program director, and was just surrounded again by agents and the industry and loved it. And then COVID hit, and I started getting really bored because my everyday of being surrounded by agents and industry partners was now just me kind of tucked away by myself, and had the opportunity to start taking my courses and pushed for it. And my husband thankfully was doing well enough to allow me to stop having regular income. And now I get to be home with my kids at 3:00, pick them up from school, and still have a full day of work. And I'm still working when I'm there, but I'm able to be present. And it all just kind of makes sense for our family for sure. So
How do you feel like that shift was for you? Like, was it difficult going from, working with those home builders or the associations to just like being on your own? Like, what was that?
Well,
what was that transition like?
It was definitely interesting because you go from being an employee of them providing tasks and projects and things, and then now you're in charge of what you're doing every day. And I think my background really helps with this, having my license now, and I can really call on that experience to help guide my clients through and understand, what's going on within these processes. But having to be in charge of myself, that soundbite from The Office of Mindy being in charge of her own department, and she is her own department, and it's a challenge. Yeah, that is my struggle, is just kind of keeping on task and not getting distracted by the fun stuff, and But a good transition. I knew this is what I wanted to do. I put the work into it. I was very intentional, and it's difficult. It's definitely more difficult than people let on, even though they all say it's difficult, but very worth it if you can put the work into it and just see the light at the end of the tunnel.
What do you feel like has been the hardest part for you?
Well, as I said before, I was very intentional about the work that I wanted to do, and I knew that was going to take longer to build my business because of that. Definitely a frustration with, being at home and the income and having it be really steady and all of that, and making our bills and things like that. But I knew, like, as long as I'm getting what I need, bringing in what I need, and I'm focusing on the people that I truly want to work with, it's going to make my career all the more better because I know that I'm working with the people that I want to work with. Every transaction is going to be a positive experience. And even though it takes longer to build that business because you're being very specific, I think in the long run, it's going to be a lot better because they are going to enjoy working with you. They're going to share your information with the people that they know would enjoy working with me. And that's kind of what's happened. And it all just kind of snowball, very slow snowball. But now we're like, you know, we're hitting that point in my career where things are really starting to pick up. And I'm thankful that I did things the way that I did.
That's exciting. When I first got in the mortgage business, and it's sales as well, just like the real estate business, it was, I would say, emotional.
Yeah.
You know, like I wanted to do well. I wanted so bad to be good at what I did. And I put so much work into it, and it's competitive and it's challenging. And it's such an emotional roller coaster. How long did it take you in that straight commission role to feel like, okay, I can make a career out of this?
Oh, for sure. So they always say that year 3 is the year when things really start to pick up, which I fully feel that. I'm going into my 3rd year now, and I feel very confident in what I do. First year, you're kind of like looking around and, God, I hope I'm doing this right. And your first transaction, you're going through it and you're like, oh God, like, do they know that I'm new? Do they know that I've never done this before? Please.
Syndrome.
And I didn't tell my first clients that they were my first clients until we got to the closing table. And I was like, all right, full disclosure, I didn't, you guys are my first, like, here we are. And it was great. It was the best transaction. And I think that alone, having a good first experience, really helped me feel more comfortable in what I was doing. I'm like, okay, you just have to keep this confidence up, keep up the confidence, and nobody has to know that you've never dealt with this before. Don't lie to them and be like, oh, that's no problem. Like, I got this handled for you. No, hey, you have a question. I don't know how to answer it. I'm going to go find that answer for you. I'm still going to help you. Yeah, let me get back to you. And just having that confidence and getting through that first year, feeling good about the transactions that I did, and then going into the second year. And while my second year wasn't as good as my first year, it gave me more opportunity to continue the education, continue, meeting other people within the industry, getting my confidence not only with the transactions, but also handling, communicating with other industry peers. I think that was what my second year was about. And now going into this 3rd year, I know everything like that I need to do to get my clients to the closing table confidently, smoothly, calmly. And I think that's the biggest thing, is having the confidence to talk to them, but also talk to the people within your industry without second guessing yourself.
And that's
huge.
Yeah, no, that is huge. And it's such a challenge at first when you don't have the experience. But then I think you fall back on like your business values. And I know just from actually looking you up online and seeing your reviews, you have raving fans. You do a great job with customer service. It seems like you put a lot of emphasis on education as well. Would you say that those are your business values, and you fall back on that when experience might be lacking?
100%. I mean, there's always going to be imposter syndrome in every stage of your business. And as long as I think you can kind of work yourself through it, but education and communication are the 2 things at the top of my list. Is a lot of my buyers are first time home buyers. I kind of built my business around that. I love being the hype girl of like, yeah, we're going to do this. We're going to get you into your first house. It's amazing. The excitement of all of it. But also just coming from personal experience, we've purchased 2 homes, and both times I was clueless on what was happening. I just felt like I was being pulled along, and then all of a sudden I'm sitting at a closing table signing these papers, and I have no idea how I got here. In the moment, like, I felt like I was doing all right, but then I don't remember anything. It's like I blacked out, right? And this was before I had my license. And so, not that those people were doing anything wrong. They got us to where we needed to be, and I'm so thankful for it. But I want to make sure that my clients know exactly what's happening every step of the way. I want them asking those complicated questions. I want them, reading through and double checking everything. When I hear my clients are doing research outside of just us talking, I'm so excited and so proud, because I know that they're being fully intentional in what they're doing. And I want every single transaction to go that way, where we get to that closing table and they know exactly what they did to get there. They know how hard they worked. They know, all the work that was put into getting there, and that helps them appreciate it all the more, I think.
So would you say that your favorite part of your job is like the education piece?
Yeah. I mean, I love showing houses. Who doesn't like wandering through houses and all of that? But just making sure that they know every step, asking those questions. I do a lot of first-time homebuyer classes, and that's always super helpful. I mean, you'd still be shocked. I think we've talked about this before, how many people still honestly think that they need 20% down to put a house. It blows my mind, right?
Yeah.
I mean, 20% of a house in Denver is minimum like $100K, right? It's insane.
Yeah.
Who has that kind of money? Nobody. Who has 3%? Not a lot of people. So it's like just continuing to educate the opportunities that are available to them, the down payment assistance, the rate buy downs, the opportunity that we have in this market, especially for first time home buyers, is huge. And so just continuing to let them know that, you know, all of those little details that they need to do to get them to the closing table, and all those little terminologies and every single step, holding their hand and walking them through it.
Absolutely. And I think you hit on it. Education, I mean, in general, is really important in what we do. But in this market too, educating on misinformation too, I think is really valuable.
It's like a whole other job.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And I find myself walking the line of, I don't want to come off as salesy.
Right.
Because I think that buying a house is it's a special thing. Of course, there's so much financial gain that can come from it. But also you've got a lot of media outlets saying that it's a really scary market and that a crash is coming and interest rates are really high. Yes, interest rates are high, but if they drop by 2 or 3 percentage points next week,
competition is going to be even higher.
Exactly, right? Home values are going to skyrocket, right? And I think people need to understand that, because they might miss out on getting into home ownership because of misinformation.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. I mean, I have clients right now where we were looking this time last year and they had no chance of getting something. And granted, they are approved for slightly higher than what they were last year right now, which is amazing because interest rates are higher, right?
Yeah.
However, the opportunity for them to get into a house and get everything that they need and have sellers that are willing to work with them and not just passing them along because of the offer that they put forward is incredible. You can get stuff paid for. You can have your interest rate buy down. You can, negotiate, which is huge. We haven't had negotiation the last couple of years. And so getting them in with that opportunity of negotiation, and then the second those rates go down, you refinance, and now you have the benefit of the negotiation and that lower payment. Yeah. And I mean, I don't tell people that because I want them to buy a house.
Right.
I want to tell people that because I need them to know that the opportunity is there when you're ready. And if we can make that happen before interest rates go down, all the better.
Agreed.
Well, and that is going to be a big reality and a big issue for people if they're holding off on that.
Oh yeah, and I was just telling someone in my office today, like the number of single family homes that I'm seeing under $500,000 that are actually like a viable house is incredible to me.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that in forever.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
In Arvada, in Lakewood, all of these places that are, I haven't seen that in a while, and we're getting people into really great neighborhoods and great houses for less expensive and less stress than we've seen in a while.
Well, and when we had that crazy competition in 2020 and 2021, even if you had the 3% down, most of the time you had to come up with an appraisal gap too, and that's another thing. Now you can it's the opposite. You can get concessions to cover your closing costs, so you can get in with a lot lower down right now. So, 100%. But yeah, rates are higher.
And you needed like $100,000 more to like offer. Remember how crazy that was?
God,
that was like insane land. It was insane. So we know this market is obviously different. So what has kind of been the biggest challenge for you, and how are you tackling it?
Yeah, I mean, I think just like we were talking about, just getting past the scariness of those interest rates, obviously too, Denver's affordability is less than ideal. Yeah. And when you're working with first time home buyers a lot, they can just get really defeated and, just trying to keep up their optimism and be like, look, I know this isn't probably the house that you were thinking that was going to happen, but it fits all of your needs, and this is that stepping stone to get you into that dream house. I like to say the ready for right now house or the perfect for right now house. Yeah. So is it meeting the needs that you have in this moment? Is it going to get you to a place to where you can land in that dream home, down the road? Great. Let's do it. And then also just, I just wish that interest rates weren't such a huge, scary factor. I mean, you guys know that, and it can very so easily turn into the sky is falling, but I really think this is opportunity. And the people that have the money to cover it are taking advantage of the opportunity that this market presents itself. And I just want everybody to see that side of it and not just the scary part of it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to get people to see that, because even when we talk about all of the advantages, if someone's renting for $1,500 and then they see, okay, I have a 7.5% rate and my payment's going to be $4,000. I mean, that's a big jump,
of course.
But yeah, I agree. I think that's all that we can do as well, is continue to try and educate and serve.
I want to shift into some other fun stuff.
All right, let's shift. Let's do it.
If that's all right with you.
Yeah.
I want to know, I mean, you have 2 kids like we do. And I can imagine, like us, that you are constantly trying to figure out how to put all of the pieces together to make yourself a sane human. So talk to me about, like, what are some of those things that you kind of think through or do to give yourself some balance so that you're present for your family and like present for your work stuff?
Sure. I think, I mean, I've done a lot of conferences or classes where it's like, what is your motivation in your business? And mine is balance. And balance can mean so many things for different people, right? Balance is having enough money to do the things that you want to do. Balance is time, whether it's like 50% business, 50% family, or whatever version of that. I think also in whatever stage of life you're in, balance can mean a very different thing. Right now, balance for me is working in the career that I love, but also being a present parent as much as I can. Having a career like this gives me the opportunity to go to the fun run we had a couple weeks ago, hang out for a couple hours, volunteer if I need to. Or I am dropping off and picking up every single day because I know I can get my work done between those hours. And one thing that I'm personally thankful for is that my kids aren't in sports. And so I don't have to add that level of scheduling. Yeah. My kids do music lesson Mondays after school. We go, they do their lesson, and then we go home. I'm not having to schedule all that stuff. They know how to show a house with me. In the summer, they're probably coming to every single showing that I have. And so, setting those expectations, showing them what I do when I work, bringing them into the office. I think just making it second nature that they're going to be in every single thing that you're doing and vice versa. I want to be in every single thing that they're doing. I think that's kind of what's worked for our family is just.
That's so important. Like I think that a lot of people, and not saying this is necessarily like right or wrong, but I think that they keep their work separated from kids. And I did this yesterday. We were watching the Broncos game and I was like working on stuff and I like very intentionally talk about like what I'm doing because I want them to understand like what work can like look like, right?
Oh, for sure.
And I think they also, we adults are modeling all the time for kids. And so making sure that we're thoughtfully talking about work. Like we talk about it all the time about, what things interest them or what things would they have to do if they did this particular industry. But I think, God, what was that last week when I went on that field trip with Ava? They were talking about like, Native American families and how they basically start learning how to be an adult at like the age of 7. And it's like, we do this all the time to kids where we just shelter them from like what it should look like.
Sure.
And I think it's absolutely amazing that you take them and show them how to do that work.
Well, half the time it's because I don't really have a choice.
Right.
And sometimes I don't think I want them to be there. But you know what?
But
they
got
it. And we're just going to make it work. But that also goes back to just being intentional about the type of business that I'm running.
Yeah.
The people that I'm working with know that I have kids. The people that I'm working with know that sometimes the kids are going to be there.
Yeah.
I have yet to have one person complain about it. So I'm just going to keep on doing it, see what happens. And as the kids get older, it's going to become more second nature. And my son complains when he has to come look at houses for me, but then he walks in the house and he's like, did you see this bathroom? Did you see that? That's really nice. And I'm like, okay, kid, keep on selling this house for me. Love it.
They're going to know their stuff.
Right. Yeah. And I had actually was talking to someone and they're like, one of the best things I ever did, because she also brings her kids to showings and stuff, is getting them a name tag.
Oh,
I love that.
And like, okay, you're putting on this name tag now. You're working, like this is how we act when we wear our name tag. And I think I'm going to do that for this coming summer, is like give them a notebook, give them a name tag, and make them see the seriousness of it. But kids are kids, and they're going to still run through that house and open every closet and hide and scare and, push through my clients in doorways. And we're just going to flex with it. And
I like that you do that, though.
Yeah.
I've never heard of any real estate agent doing that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I think it's super cool. And we've brought, when we go by open houses sometimes to meet agents, like we bring the kids and like, we're like, listen, like hand this bag of treats to like,
oh yeah,
like you got to go do this. And like, we teach them, cause it's good skills for them.
Yeah. And then bribing them with, lunch afterwards.
Well, obviously
helps.
The bribing
there you go.
The
they
bribery.
get payment and ice cream. So
that's great. Well, so, as you're kind of like talking about all of this work, like what do you feel like is like a primary driver for you? Like what's like your big why?
Yeah, honestly, and this is going to sound selfish, but it's me, like just everybody, of course I'm doing this for my family, to provide for my family, but honestly it's more self-fulfillment than anything.
Yeah.
And I'm doing something that I really love to do. And I'm helping provide for my family. And it gives me an outlet to be creative, be serious, be professional, have a lot of fun. I mean, I love talking to people. I love meeting with people. You could wake me out of a coma with, hey, do you want to go get coffee and catch up? Like, yes, I do right now. Let's go. Like, that is what I love to do. And being able to have found a career that allows me to do all of those things, but also like, handle business and get things done and have both sides of it, is everything to me. And I want my kids to see that you can work and have fun and make good money. And just knowing that I did that, I've built this all on my own, and I have a really successful business and career. I mean, everybody says family, which is great, but honestly, it's kind of for myself, which is selfish. But hey, I own it.
It's all tied together, though.
Yeah,
it is for yourself, but like I think that's part of being a good mom and having a good relationship with your family is you feeling proud of yourself. You feel like you're pursuing your potential. You feel like you're serving your community and your friends, and you're staying connected with your goals and what you want to do in life. Yeah, I think that's all connected. Was there, like, do you do a lot of, because it sounds like you know yourself pretty well, right? Like as you're talking about what drives you and balance and career and making those decisions to get to the position that you're at right now. Are you a reader? Do you listen to podcasts?
No, I'm not.
How do you feed your mind?
Well, okay, so I have that's a lie. I do like
gangster
podcast.
rap.
Yeah, well, straight up gangster rap.
Hey, that works too.
I don't read. It's really boring to me. I've never really enjoyed reading. My sister would read every single book you gave her, but I fall asleep. And so, love the sentiment is just not something that I do. I do enjoy podcasts. But honestly, I just watching other people around me having really strong industry partners that are successful, and I can watch them do what they do and learn from them. I follow a lot of really great people on Instagram that I get a lot of ideas from and can see their success and also their balance and call upon them. So I guess it's more of like I get my motivation from the people around me.
I love that.
I can listen to podcasts, but it's really hard for me to put them to action.
Yeah.
I need to be doing something with another person to really get like my creative juices flowing and all that. I can go on a coffee meeting and we'll be talking, and while we're talking, I'm like, oh my God, writing down 100 things. Why haven't I thought of that? I need to do this right now. I need to put this into action. And so I get most of my ideas just from talking to other people and having that back and forth.
I like that.
So it's almost like your circle of influence.
Yeah.
Like the people around you are the ones that you're really like pulling the most pieces out of.
Exactly. And pulling from people in different stages of their career. That's one thing. My office has every stage of person in real estate, like fresh out of the bag, young in their career, motivated. They've been doing this for 20 plus years. And I think that's so important, because if you're stuck around people that are all at the same point as you, how are you supposed to get ideas from that, right? I mean, you need those outside influences of like, okay, this is how they did it 15 years ago, which might not work for now, but how can we do something similar? Or, I would have never thought to do whatever this new agent thought of as a way to generate business, but it's working for them, and that's amazing. How can we just keep growing each other's business and not be competitive? And one of my favorite things, so I'm the incoming president for Women's Council Mile High.
Yeah, talk about that.
So Women's Council of Realtors is an organization that I'm part of. It's a nationwide organization. I specifically am going to be president of the Mile High chapter, which is Denver-ish. And thank you. One thing that I really appreciate about that organization is the people within it kind of move past this everyone is your competition mindset, which a lot of real estate agents are still stuck in that. And it's kind of an old-fashioned way of viewing things, I think. And I mean, Denver, Colorado has like some 26,000 real estate agents in like the Denver-ish area alone, right? And that's a lot of people.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of those people aren't necessarily doing a lot of business, and some people, a few of those people are doing a lot of business, right? But when you're part of an organization like Women's Council of Realtors, we are all trying to build our businesses together. The people that I know are not necessarily the people that you know. There's enough business for everyone. Everybody's doing different things in order to get their business. And I so appreciate that, and having those different levels of collaboration. And like one of the events we did was a marketing pop-up. And it's what are ways that you're marketing your business that are working for you? Because what's working for you might not work for that person. But something that you're doing might line right up with this person. They don't live next door to you. You know, they're not in your office.
Right.
Their business is not affecting your business. Yeah. How can we have these relationships to where, you know, I see what you're doing. I see it's working for you. I'm going to manipulate that to work for me, build my business without affecting your business. And then one of these days, we're going to end up doing a deal with each other. We're going to know each other, and we're going to be able to get through this transaction smoothly, calmly, positively, without, you know, I have to beat this person. I have to do better for my client than they're doing for their client. And I just think this whole industry is collaboration and making it work for our people and making sure that they're getting what they need. And seeing more people within the industry starting to really embrace that and build each other up is huge, and is probably one of my favorite things that I'm getting out of that Women's Council organization.
That's really, really cool. Is that something that, like, when you look at your current career, that you're most proud of?
Probably. I mean, I'm proud of a lot of things, but being able to say I'm in my third year of this career, I'm about to be a president of a local organization, and then we're going to see where that takes me from here. It's building up my knowledge base. It's building up my resources around the country.
Yeah.
I know people all over where if my clients are like, hey, we're moving to Texas, I know somebody that does business just like me, and I know that they're going to take care of you. Let me have that resource for you, you know, and then I can stay in communication with these guys and make sure that you're getting taken care of. I think being in front of as many people as you can that are like-minded, that are similar, I think is only going to be a benefit for you and your clients, because why shouldn't you be able to get them the same service even if they're not working for you?
Yeah.
Or with you.
And I think what's really important about that, and what you've talked a lot about is that people, I think, sometimes go through their business and they don't have a good sense of what they want their service to look like, or their business to look like, or they don't have a good sense of who they are as a human.
And it takes a long time to figure those things out, for sure.
It does, but I can tell that, like, you're really intentional and you have a good understanding of what you want that to look like. And when you do that, you let go of that, like, scarcity mindset of, like, trying to just, like, be whoever anyone needs you to be, and be more intentional and focus on, like, this is actually what I want my business to look like.
Yeah.
And these are the people that I'm going to work with. And the value in that is that people see that authenticity in you, and, like, people want to work with people that are authentic.
Oh, 100%.
You know?
I mean, a lot of people hate, like, they dread going to a car dealership or something because they know the second they walk out and start looking at cars, somebody's going to be like, hey, you want to buy a car today? What can we do to make this happen? I don't want to be that type of agent. Like, hey, I might need this deal really, really badly.
Yeah.
You know, but if this house isn't going to work for you, I'm not going to pressure you to buy it.
Right.
what is my situation behind that curtain is mine to deal with. It's not my clients to deal with. So as long as you are getting them in the direction of where they need to be, you're getting them into the house that they need to be, could be half the price that they were pre-approved for, and you were really looking forward to that dollar amount, but now they actually only need this dollar amount. Well, you just got them into a situation that is perfect for their family, and why shouldn't you be excited about that? You know, that's one of my biggest frustrations sometimes with other people within the industry is like it's too much of a dollar amount and not
human.
Exactly. I saw someone last week. I was at this conference, and they're like, "What's your goal for the end of the year?" And someone had said, "I want to serve 10 more families before the end of the year." And just having it phrased like that, serving more families, not closing 3 more deals or, you know, selling $4 more million worth of real estate by the end of the year. It was serving 10 more families. I thought that was super impactful on me and completely a way that I'm going to be framing my year to come.
That's so funny. We do like these gift boxes.
Yeah.
When like they open them, it's a big sticker and it says like, who can we serve today?
Yeah.
And it is like, I think when you walk in to your job, like doesn't even matter what career you're in, but like from like a place of like service and like help and support and like just being there to care for this person in front of you, I think that changes the way that you perceive your work and how other people perceive you and your work.
Yeah, because they could care less about the price of it. They just know that you helped them and you got them there. I actually thought about you guys today when my clients didn't get their offer accepted. I was like, man, maybe I should send them something. Yeah. Because I know that's something you guys do.
Totally.
Because I know they really wanted this house and it didn't happen. But that just means something better's on its way.
Well, totally. I think that's a great lesson just for anybody in sales is when you lead with that service mindset, that mentality, one, good things come back to you, you 100%. Know, and two, like it takes away all sales reluctance.
Yeah.
Like if I need to make a cold call or if I'm calling someone for the first time, I feel a little bit nervous maybe, you know, or intimidated for any reason. Just remember, like, I'm going into this to just offer as much value as I possibly can. I don't care about the outcome. But like, I'm just going to completely commit to like, what can I do to help you? And that's either going to end in a closed transaction now, or maybe it will be in 2 or 3 years from now. I don't care. But if you go at it with that mentality, it's also more fun.
Oh, I agree. I completely agree with that. Because I think, especially when you're young in your career, cold calling or doing all this is the most intimidating thing in the world. I still refuse to do it because that's just not how I do my business. However, if I'm reaching out to a past client or a lead or something, it's like, hey, if you have any questions or if there's anything that I can help you with, please let me know. Like, I'm not looking to sell you a house, but I'm just helping to get you there eventually, right? Do you need a garage door person? I got the best garage door person in the world, Chris's Garage Doors. And, or like, you know, anything, any questions that you have, I just want to be a resource. I'm not looking to make money off of you. I'm just looking to help you.
And I think clients sense that too.
Yeah,
they know,
they do,
and they appreciate it.
Yeah, I agree.
And then they'll go to you and ask questions if they have them, and then eventually, when they're ready, hopefully they'll work with you.
Yeah.
All very great information, great lessons.
Should I ask my surprise question?
Is it a surprise anymore? Because we ask it on every episode. But you could like create a brand new surprise question.
Well,
in your
it's
head.
A surprise to me either way.
Oh, so perfect. Okay, then I'm using my. I just love this one. Okay. If you were gonna write a book, about something, for the world, what would it be about?
Ooh, cookbook.
Oh,
yeah.
Well,
I've always had this thing
because I need it.
I've always had a thing that I've always wanted to make a cookbook. I'm not a great cook. But it's just always, they're always so visually appealing. I love the idea of cooking.
Okay, is it cooking or baking that you love, or both?
That's hard. I do like making bread.
Okay.
I make the best focaccia in the world is what I'm telling everyone.
Okay.
It's all subjective. But actually, one of my past clients, they just gifted me a cookbook last week. They came from California and they bought me a cookbook that they personally have. Sent me all these like recommendations, like do this page, do that page. And I don't know. I was in photography for a while too. And so I always wanted to photograph a cookbook, like have the plates made and do all of that and design it and everything. But yeah, cookbook 100%.
Well, you should get on that and just send it all over yonder to us.
Yeah, and I'll do all the cooking.
It's going to be is soup, because that's really all I know how to make well.
Soup and focaccia.
Yeah,
I mean, I could definitely live on that for sure.
Love it. Well, where can our listeners find you?
So I'm very active on Instagram. My handle is Denver Home Matchmaker.
Hold on. I want to say one thing.
Yes.
She's freaking hilarious. Like I
agree. I've seen some of the videos.
I feel like my love language for just like humans is humor. Like if I see funny people, I'm like, hell yeah, like I can get along with this person. Like you're funny.
Oh, thank you.
So anyway,
I'm just saying,
like.
I'd like to think that I'm funny, but it could also just be self-delusional. But
no, I'm like, that is hilarious.
Thank you. Yeah. I think this business is way too serious sometimes, so let's make it fun. But yeah, definitely Instagram is like my main activity, and or just pop into a random coffee shop because I'm probably there.
Hanging out.
Probably there. Yeah.
Well, we loved hanging out with you. We could probably chat with you for hours
because
is
so fun.
We share a lot of the same values, and I think that it's great to have a person like you just in the industry with the ideas of collaboration and building each other up, especially in a challenging market like a lot of people are in right now. I think we all need that for each other. So
I agree.
I commend you for that.
Up a bit.
I agree. And the people I think that have the mindset that we have right now about this market, there's only up from here. So,
yeah,
totally.
Yeah, they're going to be the ones that are super busy next year.
Yep,
because things are going to get way better.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, it's coming. Well, thank you so much, and thank you to all of our listeners for listening to this episode. Like, subscribe, and check us out next time.
See ya.